we are being joined in the studio by our first guest today, and I'm not sure whether Kate's come all the way from Castlemaine, but I certainly know John has come out from the other side of Castlemaine. And we have been joined by John Willis and Kate Stones, who are from the Castlemaine Theatre Company. Welcome to the Phatt.
Thanks very much, Brett.
You seem very cautious about speaking there, Kate.
No, not at all. I just wasn't sure who was going to start first, me or John.
Yeah, fair enough. Keith and I like that most shows, actually.
Well, it's the old... it's the theatrical training. You're waiting for your cue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it my line?
Yeah. We never know. We just talk over one another. Now, Kate, you're the director of a new show down there that
right.
just started on the weekend.
Yes.
Called?
Last weekend, called Qubit.
Qubit.
Yes,
I pronounced it wrong.
Not C-U, it's Q-U-B... IT.
Yes.
Qubit.
Yeah, Brett referred to it as Qubit.
Qubit.
Yeah.
Is that something from Harry Potter?
Possibly.
That's Quidditch.
Oh.
Pretty close to it, though.
These are all references to quantum computing.
Oh, right.
Oh, there you go.
Qubit.
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 Qubits are like bits are to binary computing.
Yep.
So qubits are to
quantum computing.
Yeah, but Qubit is the name of a quantum computer in our show.
Right.
Ooh.
Okay, so the qubit in regards to quantum computers, is that with the C?
No,
it's a Q as well.
It's a qubit.
Right.
Qubits with a C are the Egyptian.
Yeah, the old measuring. The length of the arm.
Finger or something like that, yeah.
Rightio.
So there you go.
We get deep into stuff.
You're learning new things all the time, Brett. It's great. This is an educational event for Brett every Wednesday morning.
Putting me socks on in the morning is an educational event. We're bringing you into the studio today to talk about this new show that runs through to the 17th of November.
That's right, yes. It's on Fridays and Saturdays and in the evening, and a Sunday matinee at 2:00 at the Phatt Broadway Theatre in Castlemaine.
Yeah.
Until the 17th. So that's this coming weekend and the following weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the show.
It was originally conceived as a radio play. So I was approached a couple of years ago by some writers that I know in Castlemaine to do it as a radio play. But when the committee read the script, there was so much Foley written into the script that it really painted a picture.
Theatre talk.
Is that sound effects?
Radio talk, actually. I think it's radio talk. Like this.
We don't know radio talk.
So there were so many sound effects written into the script that it really kind of created a very strong visual picture. So we thought this would translate into a theatrical piece, and I've had a huge amount of fun kind of visualising how to translate it onto the stage. And we've been working with a local a musician as well, who's an electronic musician called Sash Moti. He's also a DJ, and he's written some absolutely beautiful original compositions for the show. Which I'm so
had a listen to some.
about.
We will have a listen to.
It's great.
The music's beautiful,
great.
yeah. And it's available on SoundCloud. No, not SoundCloud. It's on Bandcamp. It's available on Bandcamp.
It is.
Search for Sash Moti.
Yeah.
So it's a fully local show.
It's fully local, yeah. The writers are Libby Angel, and Libby's been living in Castlemaine for a long time, and she actually wrote the play with her friend Helen Johnston while Helen was living in Darwin, and they wrote it over the phone during COVID, and but subsequently Helen's moved to Castlemaine, so it's definitely 100% local production now.
Excellent.
Yeah. Wow.
So we're very excited. It's very funny. It's a bit wild and wacky. It's a bit anarchic.
It's totally anarchic.
One of the things that actually in bringing it to the stage, I created some characters that I'm calling hackers, and they're kind of like started off as the idea of being just on-stage stagehands, but then they kind of developed this more of a character, and one of them is a brilliant choreographer, actually, another local artist, Paula Russell, and she, because she put her hand up to do it, I was like, let's have a dance number. So the hackers have developed into these, underground dance. Crazy,
and that's my
people.
role. I to be one of the hackers. I put my hand up as a stage hand.
Yeah.
And then Kate said, "Oh, can you also kind of dance with the group?" and not just like moving the chair from one spot to another. It's moving the whole set of wheels.
Yeah, okay.
Around the stage.
Yeah.
So obviously that was something you were open to, because I certainly know if I had to put my hand up for a stage hand and then they said I was going to be dancing, my hand would have gone down very quickly.
Oh, well, that's the thing, I guess, about community theatre, is that everyone does everything.
Yeah.
So, people. I've done roles on stage and backstage and front of house. Yeah.
Yeah. And John's also a creative producer as well of our other job, which is
A day job,
yeah, which is in Bendigo with Create A.
Yes, yeah. So you both work at Create A?
Yeah, John's the creative producer and I'm the creative director.
Yeah, well, there you go. I didn't realise, Kate. I thought I wouldn't take it away and talk about Create A too much.
We can talk about Qubit. That's fine. We can come back to it. Yeah.
No, but my reason I didn't want to, because I was like, I didn't want to just talk to John and then thinking that you weren't at Create A.
No, we work
but you're both there. So anyway,
across both organisations. Yeah.
But we'll probably find a chance to talk with Create A. You got some good stuff coming up soon, so we'll talk about that. Maybe another show, but we can touch on today as well. How do you find, like, Castlemaine's known for being a very creative community?
Yeah.
Do you find down there you got plenty of people who are keen to be involved in theatre?
Yes, definitely. And I was actually amazed how particularly the hackers, because when I thought, I conceived this set as part of a scaff tower, and then and one morning I just woke up and I thought, the scaff tower's got to move, and then I thought, I'm never going to find 4 people who'll just come on stage and move the thing around and be on stage all the time, and then it just, people just came, and my favourite people put their hands up, so I was really lucky about that. But it depends on the production that we're doing. So Qubit was always a little bit unknown because it's an unknown, nobody's heard of the play before. Obviously it's the first time it's ever been performed, and nobody's really heard of the writers very much, and so when you have an unknown quantity like that, it's always a little bit of a harder sell, but we got everyone just showed up. And that tends to be how it happens, actually. The cast just show up. So,
how many people involved in the production?
Well, there are 6 cast members and 4 hackers who I include as cast members as well.
Sounds like it, yeah.
And so that's 10 on stage, and then so we've got Sash doing the music, Digby is our sound tech, Neil is our fabulous lighting person who's been around longer even than I have. I started with the CTC in 2009 and he was there then, so he's like CTC. He's the soul of CTC. Really. So that's Neil, and then there's the front of house people. There's Roddy Ramos, who's actually works here at the Capitol Theatre, Bendigo Venues and Events. He did the set,
including making an extraordinary prop.
A couple of extraordinary props. All his props are extraordinary, frankly. Well, they're sort of set but props. So he's made a giant Oreo cookie because one of the premises of the play is that the scientists they're in this computer lab and it's like the middle of the night and they've run out of biscuits and they're starving, hungry. They've been working for hours and hours and hours and they just want biscuits, and so they go out to get Oreos. And that's their favourite biscuit, and they, and so Roddy created a giant Oreo Roger the Fly to sit on. Roger the Fly is another character. Did I say it was anarchic? Yes.
Oh, gee, yeah.
So we also have a fly, like a full life-sized, human-sized fly.
Yeah. And when you say that, going out for biscuits, that's basically the premise
of the whole play.
Of the whole play.
Yeah, that's
the play
what
is
happened.
about going out for biscuits.
To 7-Eleven, yeah.
And
Right.
can you make a play about that?
Yeah.
Turns out you can.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
Right.
Yeah.
How could that not be hilarious?
Yeah.
It just
And
sounds like it opens up all sorts of potential.
Yeah, it certainly does. Yeah, it's an odyssey, isn't it? That character
Well,
goes on. So
that's
there's
right.
one of the scientists who goes out to get biscuits. So they're on this odyssey. They're treading the wheel of samsara, aren't they? Through the night time and the rain, and
Yeah.
Somebody described the staging as being like everything's like constantly in motion, and that's really that actually was my vision for the staging of the play, because I watched this film when I was thinking about it. Often I get ideas when I watch films. And I watched this film called Gravity, which has got Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, and it's just the two of them in the entire thing. It's a science fiction, and they go up to space to fix some. I can't remember whether it's a satellite or a space station or something, but there every few hours all this space junk comes around and smashes into them. They've got to survive it, but it's like in that film everything is in motion all the time, everything is circling all the time, so that my idea about wanting to, so the feel of the play was that wanting to everything to be circling all the time, and it's it does. And it's quite beautiful actually.
Yeah,
even my partner said it was beautiful, so that's something. When your boyfriend actually says it's beautiful, that's when you know you've really nailed
And it sounds like he's your harsh critic normally.
Of course.
Now, can I just check on one thing? You did mention that your sound guy was Digby. I'm just checking whether it's our Digby.
It's Digby Brandenburg.
No, close.
A different Digby,
Yeah,
because there is
yeah.
a Digby who is part of the Phoenix
Yeah,
team.
he's got a bit of a
Right.
history in
Yeah.
sound as
Yeah.
well. So, yeah, thought it might have been the same one, and is sort of from down your way a bit. But anyway, turns out it's not. We might have a listen to one of the tracks from the production. So this, as you mentioned, I think before, was an original score that was written for it. Any particular one that you'd like to? I had Qubit.
Qubit.
Qubit Dreams.
Qubit Dreams.
Qubit Dreams.
Qubit
is
Dreams.
lovely. Yeah, Qubit Dreams is very dreamy. Yeah.
Probably good for this time in the morning.
Yeah. Yep. Do you think? Oh, there's Wanna Kiss. That's really cute.
Wanna kiss? Do you wanna kiss?
That is
Oh, you
very
go.
cute.
Yeah.
It's
There you go.
All right.
Let's
We'll
play
do
Wanna
that one.
Kiss.
Sounds
yeah.
like they nominated that one.
everyone back
Yes.
to sleep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably too early to be dreamy.
All right.
Otherwise, you'll go back to dreaming.
Yeah, true. On a day like this, there's so much tension in the world. I'm not sure how you could go back to sleep, but yes, we will have a listen to track 8 off this album by Sash Moti. So if you're going to look it up on Bandcamp, it's pretty easy to find. You can either put in Qubit, which is Qubit, and it will come up that way, or look for Sash Moti, SACHMOTEE. And the song that we're going to listen to is No Not Even Yet Even Am, in brackets, Do You Want to Kiss? You're listening to The Phatt on Phoenix FM, the voice of your community. Might just fade that down. I'll let that can just sit in the background. Yeah, this is a demo, the Qubit theme, which is also on that album as well.
Right.
So it's taken us straight into that straight after, but it's some really nice music as well, by the sound of it.
It's all lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can sort of already feel how that flow that you wanted to create on the stage is coming through the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that track particularly, there's the whole set is turning, and it's kind of choreographed, so the hackers kind of come into that at the end of a scene to kind of transition to the next scene, and they're moving in quite a dancey way, and turning the set around.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to do it. Like, because there is that time where basically everything just has to go black normally on a stage while you shift shift the set around that. Yeah,
do blackouts.
That's the technical term. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not a big fan of a blackout. In the show I did a couple of years ago, Peter Panto, we used the curtain to change the scenes, and that's a very old-fashioned, but I loved it. I love the curtain just coming, and then because we had that was kind of a pantomime, so we had a pantomime dame out the front, and so that was a bit of a opportunity for a bit of comedy. But no, not in this one. All the transitions, I'm like, transitions in theatre between scenes are really, really crucial. They're like that's where the play is kind of made, really, because it's about the rhythm, of what you're looking at. And so if the transitions are clunky and slow, it doesn't matter how great the acting is, it doesn't matter how snappy the scenes are, it still kind of drags, and that's something.
Yeah, it can just break the flow, can't
Absolutely, yeah. And, just like intelligent, kind of natty transitions are so satisfying to watch. I like them myself. Yeah.
You're like you were saying about, the fact that watching the movie, the name's gone already. Gravity.
Yeah.
Like you say, the constant movements like that. There was a movie done a few years ago that was a single shot. It was a Russian movie where it was just moving through the palace.
Yes, that's right.
And so achieving that sort of thing, I guess, is...
Can't remember. It was, St. Petersburg.
But just the way it uses single shots to do that. It's like some of the great scenes from The Godfather. They're single shots that just hold things well. And to me, too, I do live music. It's like... a band that knows what they're doing knows how to pace their songs correctly to keep the flow going and let it ebb and flow. And yes, the same with theatre, that, like you say, but using the curtain close as part of the show. That's great.
It's a lot more than learning your lines.
Yes.
And
well, a lot rests on the director's shoulders there.
Well, that's right. And once, because you spend the time with the actors and you're doing, evolving their characters and just sort of giving them a sense of where they're going to be on stage. And then, but once you come into that production week, your whole world kind of has to expand to incorporate. You're almost like, the actors they're not on their own from that point, but they're not the... You really have to focus on how the sound's working, how the lights are working, how the stage movement is happening. It's really, and actually, it's kind of my favourite part. I love it because I feel like that's where I'm shaping the show.
Yeah.
That's very satisfying.
And it's where all the problems come up. You actually see what the problems are, and then that's the bit that's really creative, because it's actually in solving the problems that you come up with something that maybe you haven't thought of.
That's right.
It's a completely different way of doing it.
And
it just makes it exciting.
That's a great thing about working with a team as well, is because everyone has got lots of interesting creative ideas, and so people will throw in different things, like when and even as early on as the auditions, people will propose really interesting ideas. Like when I had a young person come to audition for the part of Roger the Fly, they said, I've decided to do Roger in drag. I've decided Roger's a drag queen. I was like, okay, let's go with that. So it's quite interesting, because I was thinking about this yesterday, John. It's like, because Roger, the person who's playing Roger the Fly is non-binary, and so they proposed this idea that Roger was in drag, but Roger's kind of also non-binary, aren't they? They're sort of like, it's a kind of non-binary drag, so it's just a kind of essence of drag without any kind of gender. assignation.
In fact, all of the characters, or all of the, characters, are written in a way that they could be performed by any gender.
Yeah.
And it's all a bit non-binary, really.
Yeah. I think Qubit, the character of Qubit, was originally in the writers' minds was a female voice, but I decided to make it male. I think because, apart from the classic Hal, but a lot of the time computers get characterised as female voices because they're sort of like, service-oriented and things like that. But I thought that would be good to have a male voicing, male character doing
It's
that.
funny how we do assign genders to inanimate objects.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, people have traditionally referred to ships as she.
Yeah.
that's right.
Or
You know,
cars,
when you think of
cars are
things
a
like
bit
that,
the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
bit
right.
bit of an old one. One thing we do like to talk about on this show, and we haven't got a lot of time left, but the importance of having these community organisations that are doing this type of work.
Yeah.
It's a big focus of what we talk about here is that the ability to bring people together who've got a common interest, how good that is for those people who are involved in it, the connections they build and the like. And I mean, you too, with your involvement in Create A and Castlemaine Theatre Company, no doubt fully understand the importance of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also important for audiences as well, because a number of people that I know who work in theatre, they point out that really in community theatre, it's the only place you can see large ensemble works these days, because everything that's professional is like one or two actors, because you just can't afford to to produce a show with a big cast. It's just too expensive. But
Never thought about that.
But it is a really special thing of working together on a show. It is kind of it's teamwork, but it's also everybody gets their chance, as Kate said, to kind of bring something to it. Feel like they've contributed something important. And the feeling of kind of getting there and doing the show and presenting it to the public is it's quite extraordinary.
They're working together.
And this is very special because it's a completely new work, and that's very unusual in community theatre. We're really excited.
Well, thank you we're definitely going to have to get you back in at some stage with all the Create A stuff. There's rabbit holes we could go down there and lots of different programs you're involved in. So it'd be great to get you back. We'll have to cut you off though today because we've got to go to the news and weather before our guest comes in after 8 o'clock. But you can go get tickets, go and see
Castlemaine
Qubit.
Theatre Company website or try booking.
Excellent. Thank you for coming in. See you next time.
Thank you, John.